Hello, everyone. It is B with the B Code, and welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title, Black Man asks, "Where is Big Mama?" Well, I'm going to attempt to answer that question in this video. Where is Big Mama? Who is Big Mama? What is Big Mama? Right? At this point in time, Big Mama doesn't exist. Okay? Big Mama is a thing of the past. But who was Big Mama? That's the question. Big Mama was a married black woman that had many children and one who kept the family together via birthdays, holidays, church, and things of those nature. Things, yeah. So when Big Mama's children grew up, she continued the family traditions that she and her husband developed, right? Her grown children got married, had children of their own, and they would frequently bring the children to Big Mama's house for babysitting, visiting, family gatherings, right? A lot of times, too, Big Mama looked out, Big Mamas, plural, looked out for the children in the neighborhood, making sure that the children behaved in a good manner, made sure they stayed out of trouble, made sure they kept the fighting amongst the children down, and also counseled with their children and their children's wives or husbands um, to rectify situations that were going on within the marriage in order to keep their children's families together, right? Now, where is Big Mama, or where was Big Mama? Big Mama was in a community of Black people, meaning there was a community of Big Mamas that looked out for the children and also their families, right? So, what we don't have right now are Black communities for Big Mama to be, right? Big Mama also was provided via her husband a house, right? Usually the house was something that was bought, they owned it or were still purchasing it, but by the time their children were grown and married and having children of their own, the home was usually owned, right? So Big Mama had a place to be a Big Mama, right? So with that being said, I'm going to show this video that I found on Facebook, and I actually found it a couple of weeks ago. I did touch on it a little bit in one of my previous videos, but I want to show you the actual video so you can understand what I'm saying. I'm going to mute myself and share my screen.
You see nobody? See all of to have no one on the porch. No one. See, back in my day, we had Big Mama. We had aunties and grandfathers on the porch. It was a village, and we looked out for them. But now, Big Mamas is in the house because the Big woman or a mother, what I'm saying, about your child, about how your child was acting. See, nappings, because the big mamas and aunties was on the porch. They was the watchdogs of the community. But now they rather stay in the house because they're in fear also of getting shot. They're in fear of their own community. I mean, look at it. Come on, yo. Damn. We're in a sad time, y'all. And we need to come together immediately. Just my opinion.
Okay, so you guys heard that. His rationale for Big Mama being gone is that she's in the house, she's afraid to sit on the porch for fear of being shot. Um, she can't tell a woman about her child, right? Now, some of those things might be true, but that, from my perspective, that's not the reason Big Mama is no more. And see, when he says back in my day, we're in a new day, right? So let me show you the day that we are in. Let me show you the day we're in. Let me make sure you guys can see. This is the day we're in. We're not in the days of Big Mama. We're in the days of Instagram models who have no desire to be your big mama or tell you about the behaviors of your children, nor do they want to look out for your children. Okay? So, since we are in the day of the Instagram model, we are also in the day of the preference. We're also in the day of Black men marrying outside of their races, meaning white women, Hispanic women, mixed women, and Asian women, right? So when you're looking for a big mama, where do you expect to find her amongst the Instagram models and preferences that you are striving and breaking your necks to marry, right? So let's how does Big Mama come about, right? This is how Big Mama comes about. Big Mama gets married from another Big Mama's home, right? Her husband works, buys a house, they have some children, they raise the children. While doing so, they start these family traditions. Big Mama is a homebody. She's watchful. She's intuitive. She has common sense. And she has a great idea about raising her children into productive adults in society, right? Meaning she's instilling in her daughters to get married, right? She's instilling in her sons to get married, right? And along with her husband. Big Mama had a place to grow as a woman and as a mother and as the female leader of the household, which means her husband provided her with the necessary tools in order to make this happen, right? In order for her to do her job, she needed the tools, right? So, in the day of it today, with the preferences, you're raising Big Mama right now. You're supposed to be raising Big Mama right now. You can't uh look back in your day and say the big mamas of my day, because the big mamas are supposed to continuously come about via marriages and having children and instilling morals and values in those children to do the same thing that Big Mama did. But if you aren't marrying Black women, you aren't going to get any Big Mamas. And if you aren't marrying Black women and providing them with the necessary tools, meaning a home, safety, security, and financial stability, where do you expect Big Mama to be pulled from? Who the fuck is Big Mama supposed to be in this day and age, right? So the gentleman that was speaking, he looks like he might be, oh, maybe in his, I don't know, I would want to say maybe early 30s or middle 30s, right? So his mama, where's his mama? His mother is supposed to be a Big Mama, right? So the men of today in their 30s and 40s, their mothers are supposed to be Big Mamas, right? So don't look for the Big Mamas. Where is your Big Mama? Where's your mama? Where are your aunties, right? So if we look at, we're in the day of the Instagram model, the men that are now in their 20s and 30s that have children, their wife is supposed to be Big Mama, and she's supposed to be raising her daughters to be Big Mamas and raising her sons to marry women who are going to become the Big Mamas, the watchdogs of the neighborhood, right? But when you're marrying outside of your race, you're not going to get a Big Mama, right? And then also look at this point. You have 50 and 60-year-old men that are marrying 18 to 25-year-old women. What kind of Big Mama you think you're going to get out of them? You're going to be dead by the time she's supposed to be a Big Mama. You're going to be dead. So, and then while we have all these, the dating of preferences, because they're not marrying the preferences, they're just having fun. They're out here making babies and dating the preferences of the world, and they're just having fun, and nobody's thinking of the safety and security of the children that they're creating with these preferences, right? So how do Black men fix their mouths to ask where is Big Mama at when you are the ones that are supposed to be developing Big Mamas, right? Also, when Black men married Black women and bought a home, the home was bought in a Black community where other Black people lived. At this point in time, Black men that are getting money or that have money and that are buying homes, they're not buying the homes in the Black community to keep the community flourishing and to keep the community Black. No, they're going into the white neighborhoods and buying homes. And then you expect Big Mama to sit on the porch? Them white people don't want to see Big Mama on the porch. They don't even want to see Big Mama in their neighborhood. So you're sitting here and you're asking for Big Mama, but you aren't putting Big Mama where she should be amongst other Black women in the community, amongst other Black married couples in the community. So even if you are a Black man that's married to a Black woman who owns a home, where's your home? It's not in a Black community, right? It's not in a community where Black women are all getting along and watching the kids and everybody knows the kids. Oh yeah, that's Miss Shirley, that's Miss Shirley's grandson. I know Miss Shirley very well. Sometimes she comes over here and we exchange recipes, or she comes over here and she shows me the things that she sold on her sewing machine, and we have discussions, we have tea or we have coffee or whatever the case may be. You see, in order to have a bunch of big black mamas together in one community, they have to get along, right? So right now, um, black women aren't communal. They aren't being communal right now because black men have them competing against each other for I don't know what. But anyhow, you can't ask for a big mama when you aren't developing big mamas, right? Big mama has a big home to where she's inviting everyone over during Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner, right? She's inviting her children and their children. She's inviting her sister and her husband and her children, and maybe her children's children, the cousins, the uncles, the brothers, that everybody comes to Big Mama's house. But when you marry a preference, right? When you marry a preference, those people don't want to come to your house. Those people don't eat the same kind of food that you eat. Those people aren't living the same life that you're living, meaning they'll be able to sit and participate in the discussions that you're having, right? So when you marry outside of your race, you're not going to get a big mama environment. Oh yeah, she can if her husband marries a preference, yeah, he can bring that preference to the house, and during the family gatherings, but that preference is supposed to turn into a big mama, right? And so what you're going to get is you're still going to get half of the family. So you're going to get an uncomfortable environment. Say for example, she does turn into big mama, right? And then it depends on who her children marry and how the thing goes. You could possibly have a whole mixed family under one roof having a celebration, but how's that working out for you right now, right? So even if the black man does marry a preference, he can go to her mom and dad's house for Thanksgiving dinner. But then where does that leave his family? Where does that leave his brother and his brother's wives and his cousins and his sisters and her husband and all their kids and all this? You kind of understand what I'm saying? So you've mixed everything up. And now you're looking for Big Mama. Well, who the fuck is going to be Big Mama if Big Mama doesn't want to do anything but look good and take pictures on Instagram and enhance her body and enhance her lips? She's not thinking about raising the kids. She's trying to stay beautiful for you. And then if we take it back to black folks, since black men and black women aren't getting married, they're just having babies, right? Where is Big Mama supposed to get her tools from to be a big mama? Right? It takes two when you want to raise a family, right? But it takes one if you want to take care of your kids and just raise them and just do the thing by yourself. There's really not a whole big family to participate, because remember, Big Mama brings everybody to the house, whether they're getting along or not, right? She tries to rectify situations. She tries to rebuild burnt bridges amongst the family. So my main point is that Big Mamas are no longer being developed. And we can't blame it on the shootings. We can't blame it on anything else. What we need to really be blaming it on is these men that are deciding that Black women are no longer good enough to date, and let alone make a wife and have some kids with and stay with. So, we've been in the day of the single mother for a long, long time, right? Long time. So we don't have the Big Mama image because Big Mama's alone. Big Mama doesn't have a home. Big Mama is constantly moving around. Big Mama is at work trying to get the bills paid and the kids fed and clothed. So Big Mama doesn't have time to be Big Mama because Big Mama doesn't have a husband that bought her a house and that is continuing to work while she stays home and properly raises the children. Right? So stop asking where Big Mama is at. You don't want big mamas. You want these Instagram models. You want to have your eye and your lust satisfied by beautiful women. You aren't thinking about the children that you're bringing in this world. You aren't thinking about a big mama. And nobody wants to be big. Nobody wants to watch everybody's kids in the neighborhood. Everybody's worried about looking good and spending money, taking vacations and taking pictures and doing all the things that are against what a big mama does. So, of course, if you aren't raising big mamas, there will be no big mamas, and there aren't going to be any big mamas anytime in the future. Like I said, when you with these 50-year-old and 60-year-olds marrying 18-year-olds, they're not doing it because they're thinking of the future and the future of the children that they're going to possibly have. They're only indulging in their lustfulness. And then once they pass on, that young girl is going to be left with those children. So the fact of the matter is that you're marrying too young to develop a big mama. You're marrying outside of your race, so therefore you won't develop a big mama. So that equals the end of big mamas. So stay off the internet asking, where's Big Mama? And trying to give bogus excuses as to why Big Mama doesn't exist. Black people are not owning homes like they used to back in the day. Black people aren't getting married appropriately like they used to back in the day, meaning marrying a woman close to your age so that you guys are both competent enough to raise children and that you both will be around for an extended amount of time to make sure that those children are raised and now marrying and owning their own homes. Right? So this is not what we are doing in this day and age. So like I said, there will be no more big mamas.